today's practice than you were on Monday?
I'm much happier. I thought we were terrible Monday, but they had right from the first drill, first passes. I thought were much better and sharper and good. It's a good sign.
Is this when, after a game like that, is this when the guys in the room have to be the ones that really spearhead that this has to change, especially look at the games coming up here? You can't let this spiral.
Yeah, I don't. It has to. The important part for me is it will change, but the important part for me is how you react and respond right after last night's game. You come back home. You had two challenging games on the road, but you come back home and it's a real disappointment. To be back home, you see as an opportunity to get back on track, and you in some respects, like I mentioned last night, you could have won the game, but we didn't do enough to deserve to win the game. And that was the difference. We could have won the game. There was enough to win the game with goalposts and scoring chances, but did we really deserve to win? And now I mentioned our very first day at training camp to our team that our culture, we think we have a culture, and it's this long carried thing. It's not. It's your culture will be built at moments of crisis. And crisis is either actual or it's perceived. So the actual is we lost. The perceived is we didn't do this, we didn't do that, we need to be better here. All the perceptions that we all have different opinions and perceptions of what went wrong and what might be going wrong because you've lost 3 in a row. And it's how you're going to respond to that. Are you going to look in the mirror? Are you going to point a finger? And for us, that was where we were at this morning. Was let's look back at this and let's look in the mirror and take control of what we have control of, and we need to do a better job of playing to our identity. There's certain things as coaches we'll look at and evaluate ourselves. Are we helping that initiative and compete? And I think last night we were off on both of those. We didn't play to our identity well enough, and I think our players can now, see that, feel that, and we can play harder, competitively harder. And I think they see and feel that, and I think that practice today was great because we kind of it was your indication as a coach how they went out on that ice, what their energy level was. Was it moving forward or was it hanging on to a negative? And they looked like they were ready to move forward in the right way.
It's easy to ask this when the game goes like it does, but in your mind as a coach, were you worried Carolina, Tampa, Vegas, Boston, Arizona in the middle, that exactly what happened last night might happen?
I didn't like it. Yeah, I mean we've all been around a long time. It's there are some challenges to it, and I did not like it. Now, me not liking it, did I carry any negative in there? Any negative energy? That's something for me to look at too. So, but no, it was. You can go back after that game and just probably say, "I told you so," right? Because it played out the way it played out. And no disrespect, discredit to Arizona by any means. They're obviously an extremely capable team. They played very well. Are they or we in the category of Vegas or Boston or Carolina or Tampa? They're not, and we're not. So yeah, we're both in a different situation. And that one is one that we wish we would have had a better performance.
What do you see as the identity of this group, and when there is an identity early on, do you see that as something fixed, or is that something that can evolve as the season?
It is going to evolve, and I don't know about fixing it as much as just paying more attention to making sure we play to our identity. We play Vegas tomorrow night, and there's a lot of things you want to look at Vegas and think about Vegas and Tampa and Carolina, but at the end of the day, we just got to worry about ourselves and get to focusing and commitment to our game, to our style of play, to our pace. And we didn't play with enough pace. When we play with pace, we don't have any trouble getting to the net. We had trouble getting to the net last night. We just didn't play with pace, so we weren't decisive. And when you're not decisive, you see teams that don't get to the net at the right time. It doesn't mean just go stand in front of the net. It's do your work and anywhere the puck area is, and then collectively attack the net at the right time. And it's collective. It's 3-4 guys moving together, and we didn't have that. So I think we'll evolve our game better, our identity better and better, but it's nothing we can't get to now.
Obviously, this matchup comes a little over a year after the Eichel trade happened. Looking at the Buffalo side of things, how have you seen Tuck evolve and grow with more consistent top six opportunities?
Tuck continues to grow. Every day there's energy in life. Being a Buffalo Sabre is not going to wear off for him, and being in the NHL is not going to wear off. He's just got that energy to him and personality to him. I think he's more aware of how good he can be and become is probably the best part of it. Better, and that's exciting. So each day I talk to him, one-on-one since last night, and I'm glad we have him. He's one heck of a talent, obviously one heck of a player, and he keeps getting better.
And when it comes to Krebs, he's obviously had a different journey through the organization, but sharpened himself in his own right. As someone who's now feeling more confident at center, how have you seen him grow and change between roles?
Yeah, he's really growing and can grow day to day a lot, just because he's not played a lot of games in the NHL and he's young and he's skilled. So I know he's going the right direction, and as he takes in input game after game, I think he's going to hit. There's a threshold he's going to break, and he's really going to. A lot of things that are challenging to him are going to be really much simpler to him, and he'll be way more effective. I think he's going to produce for us. He's maybe struggled a little bit in that area. He hasn't had power play time like he had last year. But I think there's a threshold he's going to break. He's on the verge of breaking at some point, through the course of this year, because he works so hard. So I'm real happy with his progress. It's not, the returns aren't production yet, but they're going to be.
When you look at how everything unfolded last year, okay, you knew you were getting these two guys back. Obviously things have paid off, but did you expect them to be where they are today?
Yeah, I think, I'm real happy with where they are. I don't know that I expected that I had any. I can't recollect my expectations from when we first got them, but I feel that they've contributed a lot to our team and to the direction we're going, and they're both players that are going to grow with the group that's there. So yeah, I think. Can't remember without remembering my expectations of them. I'm real pleased with how they've progressed and been a key part to our entire growth as a team.
You play 82 of these, and this is one of 82, but it's probably not going to feel like one of 82. How much do you want your guys to embrace what probably is going to be a real circus atmosphere of this game?
Yeah, I don't think you have, the potential. With Vegas only playing here once, obviously with the size of the trade that happened, the environment, we don't know what the environment will be tomorrow, but it could be pretty energized. That's great. That's exciting. I think it's good. It's good for our guys. I think our guys. You have to acknowledge that there are two teams that made a big trade with really good hockey players going both ways. Anybody that plays against their old team always wants to do well, whether it's Jack or whether it's Alex and Peyton. So I think those are just natural dynamics that happen. It makes it great. It breaks the monotony of 82, as you said. It's one night you're playing Colorado and it's the defending Stanley Cup champs, so there's something unique and different. If you can find it in each game, it makes it that much more exciting. And I think tomorrow, there is some of that, but it's, the outcome's going to be decided on, who can get to their game and play it. And we feel that, our best outcome and our best chance of success is getting to our game. And I believe our guys are fully committed and focused to that. I think the other side of it is just, added fun and flavor.
Don, as Dylan has matured, is he better now where he can take last night, learn from it, let it go, and move on? Is he getting better at that?
He is, with his ability to let go of the moment, but not the lesson, is really dramatic difference through his. I guess you'd probably categorize that as maturity. But he's as he's played more games, he realizes there's more games coming. I shouldn't dwell on certain things. Just learn it, and learn to apply it faster and without dwelling. And that's something I think he has added. Started to add late last season and started to observe more. As the NHL got easier to him, you're able to observe more. You're able to maybe observe like Poso or Anderson or different things around you that you couldn't when you're first entering the league because you're just so consumed by what's immediately in front of you. And I think, that's the way most players, growth pattern. And with Dylan, we've seen that.
Don, you said that you want a challenging environment and not a threatening one. When it comes to young players, and there's obviously the thoughts of, well, if I don't play well enough, maybe I end up in Rochester. How do you handle that piece of it as a coach?
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky because that's perceived threat. We don't have control over anybody's perception. That's their own. But so we can take care of what we can take care of in actual, and that would be communicating them as best we can, giving them, a vision of what we have for them here. Giving them targets to what they can do now or next, whether it be in practice or the next game out. Those would be ways to, create a better focus for a player that might be losing his focus and to the realm of being, worried or feel threatened. So it's always a challenge.
Is there anything that you do in particular to keep cooler heads when it's a 3-game streak? It happens, but is there anything you do with a young group to make sure it doesn't take off?
I think it's how you act and react, and I think you have to react to everything. You got to prioritize, but you react it without overreacting. I think you just have to be steady. What we're going through in losing 3 games, or what we went through in losing last night, is that uncommon? It's extremely common in professional sports. There's one winner and there's one loser, and the losing team or player is always going to be disappointed. And we don't want to make sure that doesn't complicate things. That doesn't. You walk in here, miserable, and compound your misery. Is that productive? So you've got to. We're very cognizant to make sure that what scenario that happens last night is fuel, not fear. And we have to take ownership of it. Why did that happen? We have to be able to show the picture of, okay, this happened because of what we didn't do, not an overwhelming thing on the other side that we just can't never live up to, right? So then that's taking responsibility for what happened, and it's also, you should be able to gain awareness of what you can do better and confidence that you can do it. And that's kind of what happens behind the scenes, I guess.
Do you want to give Vinny a chance here soon again?
Vinny will get a chance soon here, yes. You saw him on the line today with Thompson, and that would be expected tomorrow. Yeah, and we would, when you think of last night and you think of, we probably needed a little bit more energy, a guy that, we like I said, we could have won the game last night, but did we deserve it? I don't know, but we didn't seem to have enough of that get after it. And obviously Vinny is that. You think of Vinny and you say that, and they go hand in hand.
And Henry, no timetable, which is a good first step for him.
Yeah, that was a first step for him. Obviously, Yokaro wearing a yellow jersey, and but he speaking with him after practice said he didn't feel fatigued. He hasn't skated a lot. Obviously, he skated with our rehab skates on his own with our rehab coach Mike Hansel. However, he looked fine. Probably a little bit rusty because he hadn't skated in a while, but from the injury standpoint, it was a great day for him.